hee, off to the gym we go. All right, we are in four-wheel drive. We are strapped in and ready to go. And we went with four-wheel low because might be a little bit icy out here. And I'll tell you what, I do love some snow. I am a fan. All right, I am a fan of the snow. That is a personal preference of mine. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I really do like it. I think that it adds a little bit of, what do you call that? Personality to the days. But we are headed up here to the gym. It is arm day, and a little bit of winter weather is not going to get in our way. We have heated seats. We have the heater going. We got absolutely everything I think we need. So, sorry I keep playing around with the camera a little bit. It's just a little bit off today. So, I know I should pay more attention to my driving than my camera and what it looks like. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. There's a good spot right here to stop for just a second and adjust it. All right, let me just adjust this just a smidgen. There we go. All right. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Gonna get arms in today. Triceps, biceps. Maybe we do biceps, triceps. I think we've been starting with triceps a lot, so we might start with biceps, then go into triceps. I don't know, but once I get into the gym, that will become abundantly clear. As far as what we're going to do, obviously we're going to do some curls. We're going to get some hammer curls in. The last time we did some reverse curls, I really enjoyed those. That was to target the forearms a little bit, but also the brachioradialis. And yeah, I enjoyed that one. I thought that was a neat little workout to add in. And then we're also getting in triceps. So I have been digging the cables on the triceps more than anything. And I've also really been digging the overhead tricep extensions. And I know that there's some studies that came out that said that overhead tricep extensions produce the most growth for the long head and the short head of the tricep. Really, all the triceps, all the heads of the triceps. They found the most growth with the overhead tricep extensions. It just kind of makes you think, like, well, do I need to do any other work for my triceps, or should I just do the overhead and just stick with that? Because we're going to get the most growth out of it, so we'll just stick with what we know works and just spam it, all our sets, one exercise. We could, but I think that's where you got to go back to bro science and say, yeah, okay, a study came out, a study found this, and that, but with that being said, do we know if that study's been validated, for one? In other words, has it been repeated in numerous studies? And then two, folks have been doing it this way with various exercises for a reason, for a long period of time. And they have seen what works through trial and error, which is a lot like how we know that science works, right? I mean, science is a trial and error based, where you set up parameters, you set up what you're looking to study and understand better, and then you do it and you evaluate it against placebos or other factors to make a determination as to what is most effective or what is found to be true. But you know, I mean, what do you think? What do you think old school bodybuilders have been doing? You know, what do you think the Dorian Yates of the world did? What do you think all these folks did? Right? They all did the same thing. They all set up experiments, and then they look to see how those experiments impacted their training, and then they derived their knowledge base from that. And I just don't think you can totally rule that out and say, okay, well, science says this, so this is how it must be. Everybody was incorrect that did it this other way for this period of time for whatever reason, right? Now, if it's a study that's replicated over and over again, and it keeps finding the same thing, then I think there's more of a argument that maybe the training style is outdated, and maybe this particular exercise should be updated, or whatever it might be, right? Maybe this particular style is the most effective. Now, I'm not saying let's throw away science, but I'm saying before we jump on the science train, and before we discount all of the folks that have put it into practice, whatever it might be, when we look at all the bodybuilders that have put it into practice, I think that is when you can start to, you know, make that determination of, is this effective or not effective, whenever, you know, we can replicate that. And then we can put it into practice ourselves and see what results bodybuilders start seeing this day and age when they start implementing these things. Now, I know that's to say that science-based lifting is totally off track or wrong. I definitely think it has its place. But I also know, from having a science background, from being a social scientist myself, from running experiments myself, that a lot of folks will prematurely jump on the science train whenever a study comes out and says something. And a lot of times it'll say something just within the discussion that they'll pull out of it. It won't be verified even within the paper or within the evidence in the paper, right? And so you have to be very careful that what you're implementing from the world of science is correct, and it's going to provide you the benefits that you're looking for. Now, all that's to say that we're leaps and bounds ahead of where we would be if we haven't taken some of these things and ran the experiments and the scientific studies and replicated those experiments and studies and found various knowledge points that we can lean on. But when new studies come out that say new things, it's important that we look at it with a sense of skepticism before jumping on it and taking it for gospel. That's all I'm trying to say. And I also just feel like coaches and bodybuilders and athletes in general have a bit of scientific methodology within how they go about things, just generally, because they will take something, practice it, see if it works, try to replicate it, and if it does work, they put it into practice. If it doesn't, they take it out of rotation. And so it's hard to say, well, we can't learn from those who have done these things that have actually found the results that they were looking for, the results we're looking for, right? And maybe they wasn't technically scientists, maybe they didn't run a study perfectly, right? But they did practice it and implement it and see what kind of results they got back, and then made a judgment off of those results. And then they shared this knowledge with the larger community of bodybuilders who also took it, practiced it, tried it, and did the same things. And when something doesn't work, they came back and said, hey, I tried this, it did not work. Not only did it not work for me, it didn't work for my clients, right? And this is something that we need to be wary of, to think about, that we maybe need to take out of rotation. So there has always been a bit of self-regulation within the bodybuilding community. So just know, every time a scientific study comes out, don't mean you should have to jump on it and take that for gospel. And then sometimes I think you need to see what your body says, right? How does your body respond? Because nobody is going to be exactly like you, and no two bodies are exactly the same. And while we might be able to find and produce similar results from person to person, there are going to be various aspects of bodybuilding that you will find better results than other people because of you and how your body responds to those things. So you have to individualize your training, your diet, everything you need to individualize so that it is working for you. Like scientific literature, for example, says people who eat breakfast lose more weight than people who don't when dieting. And people who eat breakfast keep weight off more than people who don't when dieting. But when I listen to a lot of influencers, a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of people who have had the experience of dieting and bulking, a lot of them will say, when I go into a diet phase, when I go into a cut phase, I don't eat until afternoon. Now, will they eat a breakfast type meal at 12, 1 o'clock? Yeah, they'll eat eggs, bacon, they'll eat a breakfast type of meal around that time a lot of times. But it's not considered breakfast for a lot of them because they're eating later in the day. Because when we think about breakfast, we think about a meal that is eating when we wake up, right? I mean, technically, if you haven't eaten anything from the time you went to sleep until 1 o'clock the next day, you're breaking the fast. You're having breakfast. So it really doesn't matter what you eat or when you eat. The first time you eat, you're breaking the fast and having breakfast. That's neither here nor there. Semantics I'm getting into. But my point here is, even though research shows eating, and I think that is a point that, you know, you could go back and you could look at the research and say, okay, how much research was done on people who ate at noon and called it breakfast versus people who ate at 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning and called it breakfast? How much research was done on people who go to sleep at 12, 1 o'clock at night and don't wake up until 8, 9 o'clock the next day versus people who go to sleep at 8, 9 o'clock at night and wake up in the morning time around 6, 7 o'clock, right? So all of those things you have to take into consideration and factor in also. And, you know, when you hear people say, well, the studies were analyzed and there was a meta-analysis and it said people who eat breakfast keep weight off longer than people who don't. Well, what did they consider breakfast? What time did they consider breakfast, right? And was it the breakfast that is the factor? Or is it people who eat breakfast, types of food that are commonly considered breakfast foods, sausage, bacon, eggs, oatmeal, fruits? Were those people more likely to lose weight and keep weight off because of the nutrient-dense foods they were eating first thing in the morning to fuel their body? Or was it a time of day situation, which is what most people think when you think I'm eating breakfast, right? Was it that they were getting up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and they were having their first meal 6, 7 o'clock in the morning versus having their first meal at noon, right? And then, is that from hunger pains, right? So is it because if you eat at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, is it because when you get to noon, you're super ravenous and you're going to overeat that first meal versus eating first thing soon as you wake up, having something to satiate you until that second meal? And then also, you got to think about the amount of foods, right? Is there a 2,000 calorie breakfast that's going to satiate you for most of the day? Or do you need to eat a 200 calorie breakfast that's just going to tide you over until lunch, right? So all these factors have to be taken into consideration. But I find it awful curious that most of the influencers, most of the bodybuilders, most of the people that I follow will cite this study and immediately after say, well, I don't eat breakfast until like noon because I like to eat later in the day so that I can have more food at nighttime because that's whenever I have the most issues with overeating. And I've heard that statement so many times from people that cite this study over the last few days. I find it very curious, right? And nobody ever says, oh, here's the study, here's a link to it, go read it yourself so you can go and read the study and look at all these determining factors that I was just talking about to understand what's really going on, right? And that's what you have to be wary of when you're thinking about scientific literature and implementing what scientific literature says. Because your definition in your head, what makes sense to you may be totally different than what the researcher had in mind. That's why whenever you produce scientific literature, you're supposed to define all of the factors. All right, that's enough of that. I think I'm just rambling. Basically, all I'm trying to say is theory, practice, science, all goes hand in hand. And if bodybuilders have been doing it for a very long time and it's been working, there's probably something to it. If science tells you something is going on and it can replicate it over and over again, there's probably something to it. And when those two things converge together, I think that's when you get the biggest, I want to say factual statement, but that's not what I'm trying to say here. That's whenever, when those two things converge together, that's whenever the evidence is the most strong towards whatever it is that it's pointing to. When practice and science can converge together, practice that has put it in practice over and over again, and science that has studied it repeatedly came up with the same conclusion, and those go together hand in hand, or very similarly, that's whenever you have the strongest understanding that something works well. All right, well, let's go in here. Let's get arm day out of the way. After we get arm day out of the way, we'll come back, we'll regroup, we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll do some sauna. It's nice and cold outside. Might be nice to get a little bit of, get a little warmth going. And yeah, it is what it is. So talk to y'all in a bit.
it works. Can't focus.
Let's see what we got going. So enough of that. Getting there. We're not there yet. All right, we did it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what, the worst thing about lifting in the snow is walking from the gym to your car. And it's like, please don't slip and break a fucking leg or snap your fucking wrist or arm and you're out for, 6 months because of a patch of ice. But lo and behold, we didn't do it. And we got a good lift in. And we are back to our normal programming. Oh, snow and ice. Record snow and ice and temperature is not gonna stop the pump. Maybe if it was a blizzard. But I think in that case, we would just have to pull the total gym out and utilize that. So earlier today, let's see, what did I have earlier today? I wanted the Subway sandwich with the ghost pepper on the sub bread, and Subway was closed. So I said, well, I'll go to another location. All 3 Subway stations are closed. All right, whatever. So it's like, what are we gonna eat? Well, let's go to Burger King. Burger King's closed, of course. Everything else is open. McDonald's, all these other things. So it's like, okay, we'll go to fucking Taco Bell. I can get some of those nuggets. And I'm trying to figure out what's going to fit into my calories. And I just don't want to cook because I had planned on Subway all day long. And I'm just damn tired of cooking. I'm sure everybody's been there. And I go to Taco Bell. I put everybody's order in. I said, I want to get 10 nuggets. We don't have any nuggets today. Like, holy shit. So I just got me a cheesy bean and rice. I came home. I had some of the real good nuggets. I don't know if y'all know about those, but those are a major hack. If you have not had the opportunity to enjoy some real good nuggets, I would suggest getting a bag at Walmart and eating those. But anyway, we had the real good nuggets, and you know, they were okay. They were okay. There wasn't the Taco Bell nuggets, but I mean, just these fast food places that can't figure things out drive me crazy. But maybe the ice stopped the delivery truck. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, so all that to say, pre-workout meal was real good nuggets, a side of pintos and cheese, and I took apples because I was still hungry after that. So I took apples. Oh look, we got a snowplow coming through the neighborhood. Nice. So I took apples. I chopped up the apples. Put some 0-calorie brown. That snowplow didn't do anything. Put some 0-calorie brown sugar on the apples. Heated them up in the microwave for a couple minutes, and made basically like a apple pie filling that didn't have a lot of calories in it, and threw a little granola, chocolate, high protein chocolate granola on that, and that's what I had also. So that was pre-workout meal. I know I got a shake in line with the creatine for post-workout. I don't know if I have anything else planned out. I have to look in my food tracker and see. But I do know that I had about 160 calories. So I will eat 160 calories worth of something. That'll probably just be a bowl of oats or something like that. I might actually do a bowl of oats and then throw the protein powder in with the oats. Maybe some blueberries or something on there if I have enough calories for that. It does sound pretty good. But anyway, that's going to be post-workout meal, and then we will eat a bite, and that'll be that. We got about 8 inches of snow, so you can see that's the Prius next to me, and it is absolutely covered. So, you know, good snow for us. We generally 6 inches is about our average for the entire winter. So 8 inches in one go is pretty good for us. But the city's done pretty good clearing it out and all that kind of stuff. So I got to give them props on that. And I haven't seen any major issues. I did see where a snow plow flipped over. You got to imagine they're going to get some shit from that at work. You know, if you're the guy, you're the snow plow operator that flipped your fucking snow plow over. You know your coworkers are going to be riding that ass a little bit after that. But all that, I guess, to say, get in the gym and get it done. Like, if it snows, if there's a natural disaster, if a tornado comes through and takes your house, at least get yourself some push-ups in. Might as well do something. Shit, you might as well do something. Remember, it's the one thing you can work on that nobody can take from you. It's yours. Your physical fitness and your education. That's the two things. Your knowledge inside your brain and your physical fitness. Two things nobody can take from you. Unless they murder you. That's the only way they can take that from you. So if you're still alive, you're still able to walk around, move around, you're able to keep those things. I guess somebody could keep from feeding you, lock you in a room or a closet and not feed you, and that would significantly hamper your physical abilities, lack of nutrition. But other than that, These are yours. You worked for them. You get to keep it, right? And that is all determined by how bad you want it, how bad you want to keep it. And for me, it's almost cathartic to work out. And a lot of people don't talk about it, but it's almost like smoking a joint or something. You know, you really put yourself in a different place mentally, and that feeling kind of hangs with you, and it puts you in a place of comfort. I guess that's the best way I know to explain it. Is it puts you in a place of comfort, and I think obviously that's by design, right? Obviously our bodies are designed to do that, so we'll be prone to working out so we can get the endorphin relief, so we can be as healthy as we can be. The most addictive thing that we have is what you're looking at right now, probably a cell phone, right? Whatever you're viewing this video on, that's probably the most addictive thing that we got, that releases the most endorphins. And we can use that to our advantage, because when we do our cardio, we can get on our phone and make the time pass very quickly, almost like we're not doing cardio at all. So keep that in mind. Anyway, it was great talking to y'all tonight. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do everything I need to do, and we will do this again tomorrow. I know I didn't say this yesterday or the last time I did a video, but I'm gonna say it today. Get out there and dominate everything you do, inside and outside of the gym. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I did it, and if I can do it, anybody can damn do it. Give me a follow. Let's build a damn community. Later.